Lifers podcast. Get with it or get forgotten.
Yeah, I'd say coaching is probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah,
You gotta
because a
find-
coach can tell you to squat snatch, and like you don't have any business squat snatching.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
that's one of
Now,
those things.
This might be a dumb, ignorant question from someone who, like I said, is not a part of it just yet. Is there like a review place for coaches? Like, is there like a Google, is there a way to Google coaches or understand who's good and who's not? Because that can be risky,
great
right?
question.
I'm sure there might
That's
be
a
out
good
there,
question.
but also
That's a pretty
word of
good
mouth.
question. Yeah,
Let's go.
I would say the big thing, man, is like your box is going to have a certain reputation in the community. Usually these, anything that has a CrossFit affiliate in it, they're going to be known on the community, whether it's going to be through Google reviewing. And I know that's like the obvious answer, like Yelp or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's very important to understand that, like, not only are they coaching you and they're trying to tell you what is right and what is not, and maybe they don't have an understanding if you have any previous injuries to know that if something's going on and they're not comfortable addressing it, but they're also the ones that are programming your workouts. I mean, they can probably take workouts from the internet and use it as their own and, fit it however they want it. But again, usually the gym owners at your box are the ones doing the programming, and that is something that you kind of have to understand and see if it fits with your skill level. And like Wes said earlier, everything can be scaled down, everything can be reduced or changed to make it accommodate someone of any fitness level. Because again, like Wes was saying, if someone's telling you that you have squat snatches in a workout and you have no business squat snatching, whether it's because of your shoulder mobility, whether it's because your hips, your ankles, whatever it may be that's limiting your ability to get into those positions with good form, scale that down. Maybe just hold a dumbbell above your head and do a half squat at the time being. There's ways to work around it to basically implement those exercises and get the same level of a benefit and activate and recruit those same muscles to get the same reward, just without that risk of injury. And the last thing that you want to do is sign up at one of these places and just go gung-ho and think you're going to start hopping on the weight on the bar. Like Chaz was saying earlier, you go in, you're in that atmosphere. You're probably going to be seeing people do some heavy cleans, heavy snatches, and that's going to motivate you. Let it motivate you, but also let yourself know, humble yourself and know where you stand with your skill level and take a step back and really understand, is this safe for me? Am I ready for this? And that's kind of a self-reflection thing, but also it's a matter of just knowing, you have to really understand yourself and where you're at, and you have to be transparent with your coaches. Your coach just sees you as another individual that can be molded, and basically they can teach you the way that they are used to teaching everyone else. But if you don't tell them, hey, I had 2 ACL tears in the past, I went through rehab, but my knee hurts a little bit when I do this. You need to be honest with your coaches and tell them what's going on, because they're going to create other things, hopefully with good coaching staff, to allow you to basically do the workouts in the same way and not feel left out from the class. And then that's what the community is all about.
I love it. So the way I kind of think about it is understanding a good coach is flexible and malleable and understanding of your current situation, isn't going to judge you for you saying, look, I don't think I'm ready for this. And not only not judge you, but help you to get there. And although I do believe, I think there should be some sort of better way of knowing, or before you go into a gym to try it, because of figuring out who's a good coach or not, because I think you going in and trying is a risk, right? Because what if I go there and it's a shit coach and I'm like, dude, this guy really wants me to do a fucking snatch right now? Like, all right, I just
Honestly,
put myself at high risk.
I've been to a lot of gyms, and I don't know about you guys. I can't really think of one where I walked in there and had an interaction with someone or saw something that was like, hey, that's like really bad coaching. I don't know. That's just me, but I don't know if you guys have. But
I agree with that, because in order, and this is the knowledge probably for you guys too, Kevin, is saying that in order to be a coach at a CrossFit affiliated gym, you have to hold your CrossFit Level 1 certification, which is a 2-day weekend long course. You're there for like a typical 9 to 5 type job. And you take a little like quiz at the end that basically it's a pass or fail whether or not you've earned your certificate to be able to coach for the next, I think it's 5 years that it's good for. And I'm not saying that that's the best way to evaluate your coach and say that they are ready to tell you to do all of these crazy movements, but at least to know that, the basic movements of a squat, a press, pull-ups, all of these options and scaling, and understanding that they should know how to do those basic things and know how to break it down to make it doable for anyone. And that's something that's really important to know, because there are further certifications that people can get, the L2, the L3, I think there's an L4. But, you know, that I wouldn't say that that's necessarily going to tell you, you know, the more certificates you have behind the name, the better you are as a coach. But again, that's where you really have to kind of ask around the community that goes there and ask the members and see what they think, you know, because again, it's word of mouth.
I think the L2 is more like programming, I think.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think that's what Mick told me when he had his.
I know it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I know the L3, like, only a handful of people have that.
Chris,
guys, I think,
Chris and Wes, this is a question. I'm not sure. Do certain CrossFit gyms allow you to come in and kind of test it out? Like, can you come in and just pay for a day? So that could be another way that you kind of test it out and see how the coaches are.
Yeah, as you know, Chaz, our gym, the one that we're going to, CrossFit BNI, your first trial, they call it, is free. So you basically can go in there, you sign the waiver like any other gym, and you basically can attend the CrossFit class of the day that is like 1 hour long on the dot, and it kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. So it's like a little bit of exposure, and then from there, it's kind of your judgment call on how did that feel? How did I like it? Is the environment right? You know, do I like the community that's there? But again, it can be different depending on the time of the day that you go. There's some really competitive people that go at 5 a.m. You'd be surprised. And
I've seen the difference.
There you go.
You got the older ladies, and then you got the intense, like, macho guys in there at certain times.
I have a specific question for each one of you guys. Before we go into that, I want to give you guys a quick story. So the first time I remember after an institute, you guys are hyping it up like, yo, you need to try it, just try it. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna try it. So I went to a local CrossFit, right? And I made the biggest mistake, right? This is literally how ignorant I was. I went in there, and then the guy goes in, he's like, hey, are you interested? And I was like, honestly, I just want a playground. Like, I just want to go in there and just have fun with all these fucking like equipment. And like, in other words, I was pretty much saying, fuck your programming. I just want to be in here and play.
A lot of cool stuff.
There's a lot, I want to do pull-ups. I want to hang on some fucking rings. I want to do, you know what I mean? But the face he gave me was the biggest fuck you in the world. Like, it was like, who are you to tell me? Like, yo, So, you know, that was definitely my first intro to it. And he did not treat me nice. He did not treat me nice. Like, I'll tell him right now.
Really?
If I saw him, I'd be like, yo, fuck you. You're the reason why I still haven't done it. But
and again, you know, that goes back to us saying every box is owned by a different individual. It's just a franchise.
He didn't even try to educate me, right? He didn't even take the time. He literally looked at me like, yeah, go fuck off. And I was like, all right.
You don't have to say any names, but yeah, man, they're out there. It's, you know, it's the same concept in our profession. You know, it's like not every physical therapist is going to be a good physical therapist. You know, there's a handful. It's the same realm, you know.